Hello friends, welcome back to Stan's Cutlery Universe. I'm here in the Cutlery Dungeon, wondering what I did this year in my knife collecting journey. Well, this video is going to be kind of just a verbal going back over my knife collecting, how things have changed, what I have found that I like and dislike. Then we're going to do a Wizbang Wednesday, and then we're going to go into my goals for 2026 for knife collecting, at least. Wow. Okay, we'll find first in knife collecting realm. I have changed from just buying everything and anything like I used to and looking for just purely budget lots to get quantity. I have, I think y'all might remember mid-year around May, June, I said my goal was to buy at least 2 USA made knives each month for the rest of the year. I succeeded. In fact, I went over that. So that was a good feeling. However, I have to admit, I did find myself missing my more inexpensive, where like I could get a lot of knives in for like, $100. I was getting, 15 knives that were still good, like Frost Cutlery or Rough Rider or something. But honestly, those lots are getting harder to get now too, because more people have come into the knife collecting community, which is amazing. And how can you get upset about that, But yeah, I accomplished my goal that I set for the end of the year. That made me feel good. I bought at least 2 American-made knives for each month. Didn't always end up being 2 knives each month. Some months there'd be no American-made knives, possibly even no knives. But like the next month I'd get 3 or I'd get 4, or, so it worked out in the long run. That's what I'm trying to say. So that made me feel good. You can see right here where I have been working on my goals, trying to write them down, because I got to write them down because my member berries don't member very well. But I got 4 Wizbangers to show you today. JC, Mountain of Jade. Hello. He challenged me and back and forth. He said he had some Wizbangers he was going to bring out today. He's like going to see who could top. So, hey, I'm always open for a challenge. And the way I look at it, we're having fun. So if he beats me or I beat him, it doesn't matter. And I might go back to the biker build-off when you had Indian Larry and Billy Lane. And Indian Larry won, but he said, nope, it's a draw, exact draw. We're both winners. We both had fun with this. And that's how I look at this. So, JC, let's have some fun. First off, the Wizbanger of the Wizbangers. Hello, baby. America on a Chinese blade. Oh, yeah, I know I just ticked off a bunch of people right there, but look at that beauty. She's beautiful. Now, for those of you that don't know what a Wizbanger is, it started off as just knives like these. Knives that were inexpensive, you'd probably get at a gas station, but made you happy, made you smile. Then it kind of morphed into, excuse me, any knife under $20 that made you happy. Didn't have to be perfect, didn't have to be, but it made you happy, and you're proud to put it in your collection. I am proud to put this in my collection. I don't care what people say. Then it morphed up to about $25, $30 because, man, it's getting hard to get a knife under 20 bucks. Even the Wizbangers are 15 now. So, Wizbangers, this is Wizbanger number 1. Now, for Wizbanger number 2, this one, some of you might laugh at. I know for the longest time, I'm not going to lie, I did not like this. I did not like this knife at all. It's from, excuse me, Cold Steel. And I see no purpose nor rhyme for it. But then I got one. And I went, this thing is cool. And you can find them out in the wild, like at the stores, local stores, for anywhere from, I'd say, $12 to $20. Wait for a sale, you get it for 10 bucks like I did. And sometimes online, before shipping, you can get them for 8. Anybody got an idea what it is? It's from Cold Steel. It's right here, the Kudo Light. This knife is phenomenal. It is super lightweight, gives you plenty of reach. The handle fits nicely, even in big hands like I have. The lockup is good. I've used it. I have no problems with it. It's 3CR. I believe it's 3CR. Or 5CR 15. Okay, that might be why it's better than I thought it was. I've had no problems with it. It is a great folding knife. This uses a lock that's on the back here. See how it pops up? That's the locking mechanism. I would say, honestly, if you don't have one of these and you would like a bigger walk around knife or something, I mean, it doesn't have a pocket clip. You're going to just drop it in your pocket. You know, there's no chance it's going to open up. You got to give it a good, you got to intentionally do it. But you got an order that you're putting in and you're like, man, I'm $10 from free shipping. Throw in a Cuda Light. You're not going to regret it. In fact, I might get a few more in to send off to friends of the channel, because, you know, it's not the fact that it's inexpensive, but it's the fact that I can do what I just mentioned there. I can say, oh, I'm this close. I'm going to throw another 10 bucks in and get myself this beautiful blade. But hey, instead of being for me, I'm going to send it to a friend. Let them check it out. Let them have the fun of playing with this cold steel. Next up, got to open the package, is this. Bought this at Tractor Supply Company. It's a bare edge. It is made in China. It's 440 stainless steel blade, finished, satin finish, Zytel handle, 3.5-inch blade, thumb stud, pocket clip, closed length of 4.5 inches. Yep, it is made in China. They don't try to hide anything. But I bought this at Tractor Supply, and if I'm recalling right, it was 12 bucks. I think the normal price was, I want to say 15. It was like super inexpensive. Excuse me, I got something in my throat going on. Close up this one before I cut myself. Oh yeah, and there's my knives that are going to go into the shorts today. Really good looking knives. I noticed today where you could tell where there's some crossover between Frost Cutlery and the Frost Cutlery brand, between this is a whitetail and trophy stag. That knife right there, I swear, is duplicate to what I did in a trophy stag. But hey, Coca-Cola. Zero. Thank you. Okay, let's get this thing open. So far, I've successfully not cut myself. Okay, can I get it out? It's always a challenge. I win. Didn't get cut. Woohoo! Okay. Look at that. Good looking knife. Like the profile. It's super light because it has Zytel. Only thing I don't like is it's tip down carry only. I prefer tip up. As a lot of people say, it's the way God meant it to be, and I concur. Let's check sharpness. We'll use this thick cardboard that it's on. Not bad. Not bad at all. I had to put a little pressure, but it's thick cardboard. I like that sheep's foot look. Yeah, that's a sheep's foot. I like the weight. The balance point, even though the handle is light, is right there, so it's balanced really nicely. Sorry about that. If I could figure out a way to make this tip-up carry, this would possibly be a daily carry. I mean, it does need some oil. I'm not going to lie. Let's check lockup. It's good. First I thought there's some blade wiggle side to side. One thing, watch where you stick your finger. You'll see right there where I got a little nick. Yeah, as I was closing it, the blade got me. Okay, so this one's another one. So that's Wizbanger number 3, $15 knife all day long. This one I showed yesterday, a little preamble of the box. I better close this thing, man. Knives are trying to bite me today. I'm a little bit tired. I had trouble sleeping last night, but that's not your guys' problem. That's mine. But yeah, so went to bed at 12:30, woke up at 4:15, just wide awake. So anyways, not your problem, that's mine. I sold this yesterday. Circle SH Cutlery. You can find these on Amazon. In fact, I'll put a link to it. I believe it was Amazon, wasn't it? Or was it eBay? No, it was eBay. Or was it Amazon? Well, if it's Amazon, I'll put a link to this and the other ones that I found. These knives are like $10 plus a $5 shipping, so 15 bucks. Okay, Of course, they're made in China. It says MSRP of 22, but they're made in China. I didn't pay that. Okay, so here you go. Get the nice box here. Get that open. I think a lot of the people in this channel is going to like this knife because it's really cool looking and it's very well made. Okay, wipe it off of my pants a little bit. Look at that. This is called alligator back. It's not real alligator. It's just some type of thing they put in there. It's underneath it's a sheet of graphics underneath the clear. Doggone Coca-Cola's getting me. But look at that. When I ordered this, I wasn't sure what the build quality was going to be like. I can't remember. Yeah, they're pretty much right downtown. They're not perfect, but they're right there. The build quality is great. It does not have half stops, but listen, I have not oiled it. Little oil, this thing's going to be just, well, it's already great. It's just going to be greater, more better. There you go. The main clip laid out, kind of a California clip. You can see I could live without that, but there's the model number. You know, I could live without that, but still good looking. Let's see how this does on this cardboard. Not as good as the Kudo, but this blade is a little thicker, believe it or not. But yeah, this locks up really nicely. Beautifully. Look at that, even there. Can't barely see a line at all. Let's take the spade blade out. Spade blade's the same, no half stop. Great action, great lockup. Walk and talk's really good. Now, just tell me that that's not a good looking piece right there. You know, I mean, that's just one of those that you cannot say that that's not a good looking knife. I don't care how much you dislike China for knives. I'll agree, I would just assume this was American made too, but it ain't. But for $9.95 plus $5 shipping, so these had to be on eBay. I won't have a link in my on my Amazon there, so sorry about that. But yeah, they're just very well made. You can see all the handles are kind of contoured right there. It feels really good in hand. You can barely feel the center pins, but it's not like hard. It's just like slightly, you know, how center pins a lot of times will be slightly proud, but it's not like painfully proud or anything like that. Just a really nice knife for 15 bucks. I mean, and I think they'll combine shipping if you throw a couple in your cart and buy them together. You know, I mean, if you have 30 bucks, you could get two of these for probably 26 bucks, you know. And they do have different designs. They don't have a ton of designs, but sorry, my throat, but you'll go down a rabbit hole and you'll find that there's other brands that spawn off them that, well, they got a beautiful Stag lockback that's like 35. It just looks gorgeous. I want to buy one. Hang on. I want to buy one to see the quality. Hopefully I haven't given away my secrets. I go back and now I can't even get them. Don't do that. Let me buy them all up first. No, I don't care. Go get them. If you enjoy a good, well-built trapper, you don't care where it's from. Excuse me. Go get them. Seriously. Please do. All knives deserve a good carrying home. Okay. Now, sorry. Time for my 2026 knife collecting goals. This is like for my whole thing, everything, and okay, I'm gonna pause this and clear my throat and I'll be right back. Well, that was gross. I mean, hello, I'm back. Glad I didn't let you all see that. It would have been way worse than I wanted it to be. Okay, 2026 knife collecting goals. This is not just about getting knives in and everything. This is my goals for my whole knife experience, my whole hobby experience here. One, I want to organize all my knife-related items. What I mean by that is my books, all my knives organized, shelved, inventoried to where I know what I have, to where I'm not rebuying knives that I already own. Sometimes that's cool because they make for a great giveaway, but I want to know what the heck I own from now on. Probably a good idea. Cleaning supplies too, and Sharpening supplies. I want to get all my sharpening stones. Like I'm going to put a shelf up, get my sharpening stones up there, get my cleaning supplies, the sprays and stuff. I want to get organized. I'm tired of always having problems finding anything I want, stumbling around. Just, it's time to get this organized. That includes the YouTube studio here, because right here it looks really good. There I'm still working on it. I'll just put it that way. But I notice if I don't get to that, it's going to overwhelm me, and then I'll be right back where I was. Okay, this one here is going to honestly be a little bit of a challenge. But what I'm thinking is if once in a while I can get a couple of lots of maybe 10 knives, it'll add up and work for it, okay? I want to purchase one new knife every week for 52 knives, with at least half of them being USA made, so 26 USA made knives. Now, if I go for like the more expensive Remingtons and stuff, it's going to be harder, you know, but I can always get myself some Bear & Sons. You know, heck, I can get some lots where I'm cleaning them up too. So, you know, it sounds like it's going to be expensive, but the reality is it's neither here nor there. It won't be that expensive, but it can be. You know, the non-USA ones, and I mean, I can get more than 26, but the non-USA ones are probably going to be mostly Rough Rider. I have pretty much all the Frost knives that they currently have out, unless I find some older ones, maybe some Parker Frost, something like that, you know. I want to build my case collection a little bit more. I really had fun with that this year. I've been blessed. I've only gotten one case that was not, and it wasn't Case's fault. It's the fact that there's that package that got stepped on or driven on, and that just put a hairline crack in the bone, which I stabilized with super glue. So no harm, no foul. But that's my goal. So my goal is to get at least 52 new knives this year. This next one's going to be fun, but I feel like I'm probably going to end up leaving some people out, and I'm going to feel really bad about that, but I'm going to do my best. I want to start purchasing some leather slips or sheaths from community members. I have a couple of those knives that need new sheaths, you know, for the fixed blades. Doggone, sorry about that. And I think it'll be a lot of fun to, you know, send them off or give them the dimensions. I'd just as soon send the knife off to them so that they can have the knife to make it there. I'm not going to be able to do that every week. I'm thinking, you know, because, you know, slips are not inexpensive, and they shouldn't be for the type of work you guys put into it. You know, I'm expecting that. I'm hoping to be able to buy one new slip a month or sheath a month. That's my goal. It might be more, it might be less, but that's my goal. You know, I already have a list off the top of my head of the people I want to reach out to first. And it's not just because I like them better. It's just because I know for the fact that they do leather work. So, you know, I'm going to be reaching out to them and getting the leather in and having fun and just truly enjoying this hobby more and building relationships, you know. That's the other thing I want to do is I want to build relationships. I want to meet people. My wife works for the airlines, so we get flights pretty inexpensively. And I was thinking, you know, how fun would it be to, I don't know, travel down to Georgia, meet Bubba, meet the knife doctor, meet, you know, I can't even think of everybody down there. Shoot, fly down to Mississippi and there meet Big Jim, you know, go into Florida. You know, I was supposed to go to Florida a couple months ago, but with all the car problems and stuff we had, and then with the airlines, that was when they had the government shut down, the flights were all screwed up. My wife's like, we ain't going, not on flight benefits, because on flight benefits, you go standby. She's like, I ain't taking the chance. I'm like, good, because I didn't want to at that chance, you know. So anyways, long story. But that's what I'm thinking of. You know, I want to build these relationships. I want to get to go and meet these people. That doesn't mean you have to invite me into your house. If you do, you do. But you don't have to. But like meet you at a restaurant. Or, hey, we're staying at the blah, blah, blah hotel. You know, come on over and hang out in the lounge with me. You know, doesn't mean we have to have a cocktail. We can hang out in the lounge and talk knives. You know, because I'm only going to be limited to what knives I can put in my checked luggage. I can speak them good English. Okay, I want to go to at least one blade show. I asked my wife which one would be easier, Blade Show Texas, which is March 20th and 21st, I believe, this year, or the July Blade Show in Atlanta. due to flights, and she's restricted on taking vacation time during it because that's our busiest time of the year up here. So we're going to go in March. I will be, unless something real bad happens, I will be at Blade Show, Texas, dealing with the crowds and stuff, and I should be able to handle it. I'm just going to keep calm and just try to focus on the knives. If I focus on all the people, that'll freak me out because I have problems with that. It just is another story. Don't need to worry about it. I want to make a trip to Smoky Mountain Knife Works finally. That's probably going to be more towards the end of the year because I'm going to probably have to recoup some funds after going to Blade Show, Texas. In fact, I'm positive I'll have to. Because, hotels are not inexpensive. And during the Blade Show, I know wanting to stay close, we're probably going to spend $300 or $400 on hotels, or probably more, actually. I don't know. I haven't checked to see how much hotels are down there. So either way. But and then I'd also like to be able to spend some money on knives. Okay, then the Smoky Mountain Knife Works, that's going to be, like I said, later on in the year. It'll probably be like after September. Maybe try to get down there when the weather's still decent, not super cold, and, check things out. I said this on my video yesterday, and I got a pleasant response from Rick, aka Warthog. I'd like to try to get together with Rick. He's a member in the same state. Again, he doesn't have to invite me into his home or anything. Just go on down there, get lunch, hang out somewhere, and talk knives. There, I'll be able to show some knives because I'll have my car, but I just think that'd be so much fun. He just seems like such a decent guy. I was going to say good guy, and it came out decent guy. Decent guy, good guy, whatever you want to say. And he's got a wonderful collection. And I would just love to see what he wants to show me there, and he's so knowledgeable too, guys. If you don't realize, Warthog is another one in the community that is just the Knifeopedia. He knows a ton. He doesn't always show it off in every video. A lot of times he'll just talk a little bit about it. He won't go into super history, but when he wants to, yeah, go back and watch some of the older ones. Yeah. By the time you're done, some of the older ones, not to be rude, Rick, I love your videos, but some of the older ones, you put so much information in some of them. I was literally going, okay, info overload, but it was cool that I was learning at the same time. But yeah, he knows a ton too. So that's another person, if you ever have a nice question, Rick's going to hate me, reach out to him, say, hi, hey, I got this, what's going on? I'm kidding. But he probably wouldn't mind. I want to start going to antique malls and other secondhand stores for the search. What I thought is I'd just split it up in like sectors and have different towns, and it'll be something my wife and I can do that won't cost an arm and a leg, because secondhand stores, you can go have fun, and I can look for books too, because I am really enjoying getting back into books, reading and stuff. I don't know why I ever stopped. I've always loved books too. It's like everything I used to love before I went in the Marine Corps, I stopped. I didn't read really anymore. I bought a couple knives that I used, like my K-bar, my Leatherman. I had a really cool, might even been a Spyderco that I have no idea what happened to them. But might be at my other house there where I grew up. But yeah, I don't know. But I want to start hitting these secondhand stores and stuff. Like I was saying, it'd be a fun experience for my wife and I. She can look at stuff. We can get lunch together. We can just have a good time that really all it's going to cost us is our time and our gas. And maybe we stumble across some really good deals on something, whether it be knives, books, or whatever my wife's looking for. You never know. I just think it'll be fun. And if she doesn't want to do it, if she gets bored of it after a couple months of doing it, I'll go on weekdays when she's at work. Might even be better for me because less people. Never know. And my last goal for 2026 of knife collecting is I want to enjoy this hobby even more. Because for me, it is a hobby. I carry knives every day. Even when I'm home, I might not have them in my pocket, but there's always knives sitting right next to me that I am, at any time in this house, I am less than 10 feet away from a knife. Probably less than 6. Well, no, at the door, I'm a little further than that. No, I'm not. That's right. Never mind. But I just want to start enjoying the hobby even more. I have the passion. I love these knives. I love fixed blades. I love folding knives. I love the Wizbangers. You know, when it started off as the original Wizbangers. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with budget knives that you can have fun with. You can go play around with. You can show people. And, you know, they don't break the bank, but they're doggone good knives. You know, I mean, yeah. I will admit this knife feels a little cheap because of the handle material. It's not though, it's solid. It feels, you know, that tactile thing you get. This knife here though, this knife's wonderful. This trapper, that's gonna go right in my trapper collection. But yeah, you know, there's nothing wrong with enjoying every level of knife collecting. You know, you might be the guy that's out there that everything's USA high dollar knives. You know, you might be the Hinderer, you know, I can't even think of all the high dollar Benchmade, Spyderco, which is something I found funny. I've noticed that most people, if they like Benchmade, they hate Spyderco, and most people, if they like Spyderco, they hate Benchmade, which I think is kind of funny because they both make some dang good knives. It's just funny how that goes. You know, you might be the guy that's the older case knife collector like Gunslinger Cal. Oh my gosh, when he puts a video up, I just basically, for lack of better terms, I get a bowl of popcorn made. You know, I might not always have popcorn, but sometimes I do. Put it on and just enjoy. The video he last did, it was a red, I can't remember the bone pattern, is red bone knives or something like that. And he is out in the sun. And that natural light, those are already good looking knives, but in that natural light, that old, oh my gosh, man, that was just beautiful. It was awesome. I was so amazed at, yeah, you know, that was as cool as heck. And, you know, and I'm not trying to exclude anybody. These are just videos that pop into my head when I think about them. You know, heck, I'd like to try and maybe meet Tobias Gibson, you know. He's down there in Illinois, which ain't but a hop, skip, and a jump from here. You know, maybe someday we can meet in the middle, or, you know, I can go down there and maybe he'll, invite me into him and Skip will invite me into the Volcano Club. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. You know, then they might meet my alter personality. Yep. You've seen it every now and then on here, but I try not to let him come out very often. But anyways, I've been mabbling and jabbling. Hashtag mabbling jabbling. You figure out how to spell it. I don't know. Mabbling, jabbling. I'm such a dork. But hey, I love you all so much. Thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up. Tell me what you think of these Wizbangers. You know, tell me which one of the Wizbangers is your favorite. The Trapper, the Bear, the Cold Steel, or the, I don't even know what brand this is. We'll just call it Wizbang, or the Wizbang. You know, you tell me. I think they all have a place in the collection. Let me know which one you like the best. With that being said, I truly do appreciate all of you that make it to the end. 28 minutes. Oh my gosh. Mammling, jambling again. I tell you, that's, you know me. Get me going, put a quarter in. You know. Anyways, I better stop. Thank you all for watching. Live long, prosper, and collect your own way.